everyone, and welcome to Vision and Purpose Media Productions. And tonight we have another good one for you. It's all about the release, the magazine release. We have the January, February magazine out. Yay! We have a new sheriff in town, right in time for the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year's, everyone. Yes. We have a live studio audience, and they got so much energy. Oh, excuse me. Are we live? Oh, okay. Y'all didn't see that. All right. Let's have some fun. It's time to introduce the class act and the Vision and Purpose team. Because Nelson, I'm going to introduce you first. You've been with me since the class act production days, and that's over 20 years ago. So we have Flora Nelson, welcome. We have Marjorie Militant. We have Marion Swingland. We have Kiana Brown. And we have another Karen. Oh, your name Karen as well? Oh, you Karen Clay?
We are Karen. We are not a Karen.
Yes. All right, yes. And we the Special K's. And we have a twin in here. Hey, shout out to the twin. And we are the Triangle K's when all three of us together. All right, okay, so y'all ready? How was your New Year? Everybody had a great New Year?
Yes, we did, definitely.
Yes. You know, I just worked through the magazine. Okay, guys, don't act like this y'all first time here. Put the mic up when you're talking.
Right.
Okay. Because nobody can hear you. So make sure you're putting the mic up. All right, so we had a great New Year's. We worked hard on the magazine, getting ready for the release. I know I work Christmas and New Year's, and I want to first always take the time to thank my team because this magazine release, when it's the January, February issue, we have to work through the holidays. So we worked through Christmas, we worked through New Year's. Matter of fact, we had a meeting on New Year's. I took a few New Year's. Thank you. Y'all love me. I tell you, they love me because they gave up their holidays. We was here for about 5 hours just on the holiday, just doing what we do, right? Because that's what we do.
That's right.
That's right. All right, Margie. That's right, Kiana.
Yes, I wasn't here for that one, but that's
Karen.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's great. It's wonderful. So let's get started, and we're going to talk about this front cover. So Karen C is always the designer of the front cover. So even though we have an original picture, thanks to the Sheriff Department, they provided us with the pictures. You did a wonderful job of just still making it all fit into the theme of what we wanted to do. Because that's a what? New sheriff in town?
Okay. Right.
And he go by the name John D.B. Carr. That's right. Okay, so tell us about the front cover and what was your creation here?
Well, whenever I do a front cover, Karen and I have a conversation because it's not just about putting a picture on the page. It's about communicating a message with the picture. And for me, I won't bore you all with details, but there's a significant. Oh,
your sister, your twin.
There's a significant amount of editing in this picture that I did, and I don't even know if the Sheriff Department has recognized any of the editing that I did. And part of that is so that we can focus on the subject.
And
which
not
is
the objects that was there, right?
and the people.
Yes.
And so that we can focus on that. And for me, what this picture represents and what I hope you see is a new yet continuing and unified Sheriff's Department ready to serve.
Yes. All right. Come on now.
And
Yes.
like it says, let everybody know there's a new sheriff in town.
All right. So by the time we leave here tonight, everybody gonna know there's a what?
Sheriff in town.
Exactly, and we love it. And he go by the name of John D.B. car. All right. That's how we do it at Vision and Purpose. Yes, yes. This is just wonderful. So, Nelson, I'm going to say you are a senior editor, and I call him my top guns. I have to call out my top guns when I need a story to be at its best. And so I was like, Nelson, okay, I need you to look at it, critique it over and over. Marjorie, she's our chief editor as well. So this has been great. And because Nelson and I, we've been working together for over 20 years. So
Don't
yeah.
say that, don't.
I mean, over years. Yes, yes. So thank you. So we have a wonderful team here. I'm just so glad we have a newbie just joining. This is her first edition tonight. So we're going to make you feel real good, Marian. So she's our performance, yes, arts and media. Yes, yes. So we're going to go on and get started. We start always, if you notice, our name is Vision and Purpose for a reason. You know, because God give us all the vision, and he want us to go out and live the purpose. So Vision and Purpose Media Production would not start any other way but with the inspirational moment. So that's the way we open up our magazine every time, every other month. It's all about the inspirational moment. And Marjorie.
All right, the inspirational moments. And what I talked about this edition is about seasons. I talked about spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I compared it to the things that we go through in life. When we are in springtime of our life, that's when we are born. A baby is, my daughter just had a baby, so I put something in there about that. The summertime is the time that we are growing and learning and forming our opinions and forming the way that we want to live our life. The fall time is the time that we have made our decisions about what kind of people that we want to be, and we're just doing things. We're choosing between good and bad. And then the winter time is the time that we have reached our goal. We've reached our mark. My mom is 93, and I wrote about that a little bit in there too, talking about how we have made our choices in our lives, and now all we're doing is serving our community, serving our families. And I think it's a really good article, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Oh, yes, yes. No, look, we done read it 1,000 times. It really is a very good article, and I know your mother will be proud. 93, that you gave her a nice shout out. Oh, let me show that picture. And it's a nice picture of you and her in there as well. So, yes, yes. Oh, and so then next we have our health and wellness, and Miss Kiana, you always give us so much. We have like several writers for the health and wellness, and Kiana focused on the health and wellness, the mind. And I just love your story because we're talking about the new year, and you was like, move your belief. I have to say that again, move your belief. Okay, so tell me about it.
Well, the reason I said move your belief is because a lot of times, as we talked about earlier in here, New Year's resolution. Well, how many of us know that they typically end about maybe January 26th, 27th?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And you're like, okay, so yeah, this is what I purpose to do for this year. But if you move your belief, what you believe is what you'll go after. And some of the times our resolutions are not things that we can actually attain. It's really far-fetched. So you want to start a little bit back with just the small thing that you can believe to the next thing that you can believe to the biggest thing that you can believe. So it steps and some module to it. You're not going to necessarily just say, hey, I want to lose 100 pounds, and because I make this resolution, I'm going to lose that 100 pounds. So what are your beliefs around losing that 100 pounds? Is it the first thing that I need to get my mind wrapped around what I need to put in my body? Do I need to get my mind wrapped around getting up in the morning and getting on the treadmill or going for that walk? So you have to move your belief in that area in order to grow. And so I throw resolutions out because I'm changing my mindset to be renewed, and that's what's going to help me step into the new journey of life.
Wow. You know, that's why I don't do makeup. You always trying to make somebody cry, okay? I tell you. So, and then we are the community magazine, because community is what?
Everywhere.
That's what we say. Community is everywhere. So our next person that wrote in the magazine is from all the way from Cincinnati, and that's Michelle. We love her, and she also is the one to design. She does the design work of the magazine. She does the layout, and so Michelle from Cincinnati, we love you. Thank you for being a part of the team. She's been with us for 2 years now. We love you. We love you, Michelle. And yes, and everybody was on this New Year's kick, you know, to say, don't make New Year's resolution, just do evaluation. And she was like, reset, realign, and then restart. And sometimes that's what we need to do. Just take a look at the year, see how it's been. Have you hit your marks that you set? And what are some of the things that you want to work on and improve on? And so this was a very good article. So she write under the education is key. And we love you, Michelle, all the way from Cincinnati. And next is, we're going to take a time in a moment. The inside the community, as you know, we love being out in the community and just giving back. That's what we do. Because vision and purpose would not be here if we was not being blessed and being a positive voice for our community. So we do our toy drive every year. So our pictures is a combination of the Thanksgiving drive and the toy drive. So we always put that in our January, February issue. But this year we decided to dedicate it to Miss Ann Powell. She Elder Ann Powell. Let me put a respect on her name. That's what y'all say. Okay. So Elder Ann Powell, she always donate 100 toys to Vision and Purpose, and this year she was not with us. And everybody know I was just so worried because I'm just know that we're going to start out with 100 toys. And she was our shining angel. I am not kidding you. We had 47 foster kids. We work with Concern for Kids every year. Bambi, raise your hand. Yes, we work with Concern for Kids every year, and this is the organization. And we donate the toys to foster care. And if you're a child in need, one toy is not good enough. So I think we always want to be able to give them more than one. So 47 children was able to get 8 toys apiece. And gift cards. And usually we give our gift cards to the teenagers, you know, because they don't want no toys, okay? They want to be able to shop and do their own thing. But we got so many gift cards that we was able to even give each child a gift cards along with 8 toys and new coats, new shoes. Is Greater Beulah in the house? Greater Beulah back there, they in the house. Yeah, so we call ourselves the Community is Priority Group. And we all come together and we make sure we get the toys, and they gave coats this year. They had brand new coats. So I have to tell this story. Can I, Bambi? You can. Okay. So this little young guy right here in this picture, he stole my heart, made me cry. So he walked around with the coat the whole time. He grabbed that coat as soon as he got there, and he kept walking around with it. I said, well, try the coat on to make sure it fit. He's like, I know it fit. I said, no, try it on. It's yours. Just make sure it fit. So he put the coat on. I said, okay, it fit. I said, now we can put it in the bag. He said, I ain't taking it off now. I'm going to keep it on. So he kept his coat on the whole time, and then we had a bike donated. So he had so much energy that we ended up giving him the bike. So he was so happy. So I had to take the picture with him on his bike. Aww. Yay, 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 yay. So, and then we're going to go right to our community outreach, and then we'll come back. Our community outreach section here. So at our community outreach, we like to just recognize the different awareness of the month for January and February. So our chosen one is this is Sex Trafficking Month. And guys, this is a very big issue that we are still here fighting. Matter of fact, one of the people that we wrote the article on, Michael Lyles, an attorney, he fought here in Prince George's County to make sure that we have protection against sex trafficking. So we just want to recognize that. And of course, in February is Black History Month. And also, it's Heart Awareness Month. So make sure, and you know, heart disease is big in where? The Black community. So guys, make sure that you're doing what you have to do to keep your checkups and keep your awareness going, right?
That's right.
All right. So anything you want to say about that, Kiana?
Oh, well, I know it's very important to always stay at the doctors and checked up. My husband always said, you run to the doctor for everything. The smallest thing can become the biggest thing. So it's always important that we just take the time to take care of ourselves because we're the only self that we have.
Yes, yes. And then next is the community news flash, Marjorie.
Okay.
Such a good job. So me and Marjorie, every month we talk about, okay, what we're going to do for the community news flash. And for this one, I was like, okay, let's focus on Black History Month, Marjorie. Give me something. You know, just give me something from the past and something from the now. And, you know, she did a wonderful job. So do you want to tell about your two choices?
I talked about Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler.
Yeah.
She was the first Black woman doctor in the United States, and she also wrote a medical journal, and she was the first to do that as well.
Yes.
And then I spoke about Spike Lee, who's an actor, an activist, a writer, screenplay, you know, and so I wrote about him and just gave kudos to him because he's a great inspiration for everyone.
Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Okay, so did you like his movie Rwanda? Because, you know, and his things that he talked about, because you just came there from there, right?
That's right. I just
So,
came back from
yeah.
Rwanda. That's right.
Yes.
I was there doing some work for the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because some of the work dealt with law enforcement.
Okay.
And that was fascinating. And so what you put together here is just on time. It's just wonderful.
All
And
right.
by the way, I want to say something
Okay,
about
sure.
going back to the original article we talked about
Mm-hmm.
with this sheriff and his team. One thing that I really enjoyed about the article when I
Mm-hmm.
was working with you on
Okay.
it is that the fact that this sheriff's office is diverse.
Mm-hmm.
It's diverse, it's inclusive,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the type of law enforcement that you actually want to have.
Yes.
You know, especially at this time in this country, in this world, when law enforcement is really being looked at as not being equitable, not being fair, not being balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an office coming in with a team of people who exemplify all of the things that you need to have that type of force here in the world. So I was excited about that. There are a lot of stories there. I look forward to working with you on those in the future.
Yes.
A lot of stories to be told. But
Yes.
we
yes.
should all give kudos
To the new sheriff in
to the
town?
new sheriff in town. and
The
all
new sheriff in
officers
town?
and everything.
Yes, yes. I love it. I love it. So now we have all, and we get ready to get to that interview too. We making you wait, anticipation. Yeah, so now we have all things fashion. And again, our magazine is about the community, and community is what?
Everywhere.
Okay, yeah. So this team is a husband and wife team. They all the way down in Richmond, Virginia. So and to Tony and Martina, we love you. Thank you for your all things fashion. They are talking about what are we doing. The focus is putting a focus on a product company, just realigning themselves and reinventing themselves and putting a product out there. So in 2023, we have another Black line product company that we need to represent. And I just want to say that most people don't know that in the Black community, we spend the most in the beauty industry. We spend over $2.3 billion a year in the beauty industry. So this is great to have another company that's out here with a great product line that we need to support. So you got to get the magazine to see where they're from and how you can order their product. So thank you, Tony and Martina, all the way down from Richmond, Virginia. We appreciate you. And then next, oh, we got our newbie in here. So yes, this was great. You did a great job. You talked, so Marian, I want you to tell us about your story because I just love this. You was talking about how the arts is no longer in the school and how we need that.
Yes, yes. So I talked about something that was near and dear to my heart, children. children, there's probably a song. Let me start with this. There's a song that everybody in here knows. One song, and I would be shocked if everybody in this room doesn't know this song. And you're taught it as a child. You've never, ever forget this song. It's the basis and the foundation for what you learn in school. Because without your ABC, am I right? Is there someone in here who does not know that song? Just let me know. I do voice lessons. I'll teach it to you. You sure? Everybody good. All right. So everybody knows that ABC song. So in this article, I just expressed how important music is and how as parents and a community and even our government, how we need to make sure that that's not lost because it's very valuable. It's very easy. It's something that was very easy, but it's usually the first thing you teach to your children as a foundation for education.
Yes, yes. You did a wonderful job, and that is true because I did look forward to arts in school. I wasn't never good at it, but, it disciplined me. That's what I learned from arts, the discipline, and that still never give up because, we may not be great, but it still have a way of letting us know about our gifts and talents out there. It's very important to know that. And so with that being said, before we go to commercial break, I think somebody she already said she give voice lesson and she sang, we're going to put that to the test. Don't be telling us nothing because we put you on Front Street around here. So you better be ready. Okay. All right, so as soon as I tell this, I want to hear that voice. Okay? We're going to see if she can sing. All right. Don't be pleased with the audience now. This going to be showtime at the Apollo. If she don't bring it, we going to bring Sandman out here. Okay? What? Okay? You better ask somebody if you don't know. It's showtime at the Apollo, girl. All right, moving right along. This is our birthday shout out. So we love this because the birthday shout out and the community hero, which we'll be interviewing her right after this commercial break. But two things, we wanted to be interactive and have a positive voice for the community. So the birthday shout out, you actually can just go to our website and put in your birthday shout out. If you want to send a birthday shout out to your mom, your husband, your loved one, or even a loving memory in memory of. We take birthday shout outs and we put them in the magazine. Usually we have 2 full pages, but because there's a what?
New sheriff in
in
town.
We gave all the pages to him and his appointees. But definitely visit the website and put in that birthday shout out, people. You can do that, okay? And also, if you have that community hero, that one person that you know is just out here in the community just doing they all just because they love their community, please visit our website, and that's www.v as in vision, A-N-D, P as in purpose, media productions with an S on the end.com. And you can nominate your community hero, and you also can put in your birthday shout out, okay? That
Big
voice
button right on the home page.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. If you don't know, she also our website designer. So as you know, we up here, we work hard, this team, and they have multiple positions. Kiana is also part of the film director, but Karen, she does the front cover. She also does graphic designs, and she does the website. Kiana, she's a writer. She's one of our film producers as well. Marjorie, she's editor, and she writes and talk show, right? And Nelson, you just Nelson. You just do it all. Okay, so Nelson is our international flavor that we love and have. And we love that we have a new writer on the team that thinks she can sing. And we about to find out. Okay, so you know what? It is time to put it to the test. It's showtime to Apollo.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yes.
All right,
What I'll
okay.
be singing is Summertime, which is definitely goes right along with what Miss Marjorie said, the learning and the growth.
Okay, so Summertime is what we're going to be singing. You're going to sing the full song, and then we're going to that commercial break. And then we're going to ask the audience, was it Apollo? Oh, no, the audience going to let us know. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do it while she's singing. Okay, so without interruption.
Summertime, and the living is so easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your ma, she's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. Till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With mommy and daddy standing by. One of these mornings, nothing can harm you. Then you'll spread your wings and take to the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm. With daddy and mommy.
Look, I think she passed.
There's a new sheriff in town.
Yes. Well, you know what? I think she passed. We don't have to pull her off there. So we're going to take this commercial break, and we'll be back with our community hero, and then what? The new chef in town. And you got it here first on Vision and Purpose Media Productions. We'll be right back at you. Yes, now you're clear. All right, guys, thank you. Tracy. Yeah, I know.
That's who we are.
Tracy? Yep.
Us. What? Who are we? We are women. Beautiful, accomplished, and divine. That's right.
Maisha. I mean, Shamika. We gotta find a. I'm gonna have to put it somewhere.
It's rubbing against your
Stop. You know, I wonder if it rub if I put it there. Okay.
that's better.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Greatness.
Yes. No.
The black community. Badass us. Who are we? That's right. Who am I? I am the person committed to building the next community movement. What about you?
Yeah.
So I'm B&B. I'm a friend of hers.
Thank you. Have I got one with us? And then I make sure. One. Okay. Well, I got it.
Yeah, she just.
She's so
Yeah.
hot. But thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, so go over there and make sure you get you a magazine. Yeah, make sure you're getting a magazine. Tammy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Vision and Purpose Media Production. And we are here doing the Vision and Purpose Community Magazine release. And it's all about what? Where did my crown go? Let me try that again. My studio audience, come on, because there's a what? New sheriff in town. That's right, and he go by the name of John D. B. Carr. Yes. But in the meantime, how are you, Tracy Brown?
I am wonderful. Come on, you guys. Y'all can do a little bit better than that. Y'all been quiet all evening. I'm not a quiet person. There's a new sheriff in town, so I need y'all to make some noise because he worked hard to get where he is. So, okay, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right. That's what we're talking about. But you got to do it one more time because guess what? He has an awesome team that's surrounding him.
Yes.
So we got to give them some, we
Yes.
have I'm going to not get into that, but we got to do it one more time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Woo! All right.
I love it. See, and that's why she's our what? Community hero.
Yes.
She gives so unselfishly of herself. So Tracy is that just icon of the community that we love and stories we want to hear about. And this is what the magazine really is truly about, is just being a positive voice for the people that are doing so great things in the community. I'm going to,
What you going to do?
they tell me, don't say nothing to me because I can't hold water. So I'm going to spill the beans, okay? She is just so honest that the fact that when she was nominated, she was like, I am behind the scene. No. So that just even another reason why these are the heroes that we want to talk about and feature in the magazine. So Tracy, thank you for accepting this nomination and allowing us to feature you, even though I know that you was ready to just like, she's behind the scene person. But you do so much for the community. You have a nonprofit organization. You have a women's organization that you give to. She's grant writer. She help people start their business, first start business, help them write grants and find funding. You just do it all. Then you treasurer of campaigns and all. So when do we start?
At the beginning.
Okay, yes.
For me, I love the community. I'm a community person. I believe that I always say you'll find a leader always leading. They don't need no title. They don't need anything. So I'm that community person. You don't have to ask me. I'm going to always be there to do it. So I love the community. I love people. So I love people in the community, and I would do just about anything you ask me, as long as it doesn't get me in an orange suit. Don't like that. Don't like that. Don't like that. But I work real well with everybody. So I'm excited to be here. Of course, I did not want to do it. I tried every excuse I could to get out of this, and it did not work.
No, it didn't. No, you deserve this, and these are the community heroes that we want to. So where did you get this passion from to want to help people start their nonprofit organization or help people start their own small business? And then not only that, help them write grants and find money and funding. And that's the big part of starting their own business, especially, or nonprofit, especially in the Black community, is being able to find the funding. And you do it all. So
I don't do it all. They do it all because
Okay.
they're excited about it. A lot of times when you find, I run across someone that wants to do a nonprofit, they're passionate about doing the work. They don't want to do all that paperwork, but you got to do the paperwork because that's what keeps you balanced, that's what keeps you whole. And so I'm the person that does the paperwork and kind of like keep them on focus. A lot of times when I meet someone that wants to do a nonprofit, they want to help the kids, serve in the kitchen, do the seniors, and I always suggest to them, let's do everything that connects and works together. You can't be in here saying you're doing this and then you're out there, doing the food. That's okay, but sometimes you have to make sure that your purpose match what you're doing. And so that's why I like to get there. And the greatest part about doing this is that seeing the light bulb go off in somebody's eyes, whether they decide they're going to do a nonprofit or a business. Is seeing the light bulb go off and it's like, oh man, I can really do this. Because guess what? You really can. It's enough money out here in the world for everyone. Everybody needs to have a side hustle because believe it or not, that's how this started off, as a side hustle, and it grew into what it is today. So I'm excited about that. I know I have a lot of entrepreneurs out there in the audience thinking about getting a business started, have a business started, or just need a plan. I'm your girl. I am your girl to help you get that done. So I'm excited about being here. That's me when I didn't have much hair on my head. But yeah, I'm excited about being here. And what happened was when I came up here, you guys, the group that was up here before, they took everything that I wanted to say. So I really don't have much to say because we talk about
she
vision.
don't have much to say. Have I asked the question yet? Oh, okay, go ahead.
But we're talking about vision and we're talking about purpose. And I always talk about one of my favorite quotes, or your favorite quotes, is that we are the architect of our life.
Yes.
So that simply means that you're designing, you're building, and then you're living your life. So you have to determine where at you want to be because at the beginning it's about the choices that we make. Whether you decide to make a choice or not, you made a choice. It's about setting those goals. And when you accomplish those goals, that's your first wall. And then you begin to just build from there. And sometimes we get off path and off beat, but I always believe that God has a way of making sure that either stopping us in our tracks for a minute to give us time to get it together or steering us in a different direction. And so sometimes when they say a setback is whatever that thing is, but sometimes when God allows you, or when it comes to a point you're at a standstill and you don't understand why, just trust the process. Just trust the process. And if you trust the process, God's going to do the rest. So I guess you guys see on there that I'm a Christian, but I'm also a PK kid, which many people don't know that because sometimes, those PK kids, they act up, right? That's how it is. But I'm just a joy to be here, and I'm excited about the new sheriff in town.
What?
He is one of my dear friends.
Yes.
One of my dear friends, that the diverse staff that he has selected there, you guys are going to hear great things about them. So as my time is up, I hope that I'm here ready to turn this mic up because you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from them.
No, we want to hear from every feature story in the magazine because you all are great. And this is what makes up Vision and Purpose Community Magazine because community is what?
Everywhere.
Exactly. So we definitely want to focus on this. And yes, I do have one more question. You've been doing so well, but I have one more question. And I want to talk about that. Now you're the treasurer of many campaigns, and you are in the campaign arena. So how was it working on the campaign for the sheriff? And because this is his first time running for office, and won the primaries just with 49, let me say that again, 49.3%, if I'm correct, of the votes. And that is just really almost, huge, unheard of for a first time, candidate being out there. So, that means you all covered a lot of grounds because we'll get into that when the sheriff get up here. But the sheriff position here is a county-wide race. It's not a district race. It's a county-wide race. So you all had to cover the whole Prince George's County, which we are now, I think we over 1 million. Yes, it's 999,000 and all that stuff. So 1 million, 1 million people in this county. So, and you had to really touch them and be effective on getting his platform and message out there. So how just tell us, how did it feel to be a part of that?
Well, it feels good, but first of all, it was not only me, it was a team. And the only way you can get anything done is by a team. You cannot do anything alone. So it took a team to get him across the line. It took your votes, because I know you all voted for, to get him across the line, to get that 49% that he received. So it's important that whenever you do anything in that magnitude, that you work as a team. There's no big eyes. Everybody's important.
Yes.
And one of the featured guests is actually, we joke around, but he's my campaign husband.
Yes.
And I just love my campaign husband because he stuck with me all the way through everything that we went through. So that's why I say it's about a teamwork. Each and every person, that the ones that are here or not here, the ones that showed up one day at the poll, somebody that handed out the literature, that took the time to knock on the door, even all the way back to his family, because they had to give up time. He had to sacrifice the time. So that and not only that, the key thing is, guess what? I believe in him. I know his work. He's worth everything. He what you see is what you get. He's honest. He's just an honest, nice-looking guy over there. Don't tell his wife, but he's nice looking, right? An honest, nice-looking guy, and we could not have done it without your vote, and could not have done it without the awesome team we had to get it done.
Yes, and then, you know what, I think she knows that, but also she's the backbone, because behind every great man, there's a what?
A good woman.
I'm telling you, it's a strong woman
and not
leading
only that,
it up.
his kids too. So the shout out over there, because they had to they had to share their dad. So thanks, kids.
And
thanks
sacrifices was made. Yes. This is just great. So I think without further ado, we're going to get ready to take this quick commercial break, and then we're going to bring up the what?
The
new sheriff in town. Okay. So yes, just stay right here. You heard it here first. If you would like to get your copies, for those who's viewing us, you can go to our website, visit us at www.vmpmediaproductions.com and order your copy today. It will go in the mail soon as you order. That's how it works. All right, so we be right back at you here on Vision of Purpose Media Production. See you on the other side.
It is key that you mind your mental health.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this week?
Hi. Use the 5 keys to mental movement.
This week has been a really monumental week for me. I realized that I was not being myself.
Reaching out.
Be positive attitude person self, like you guys know me to be.
Staying upbeat.
And get back to that happy, cheery self of me.
This week's been kind of
being
stressful,
creative.
All of the workload that we have on online learning. So I've been trying to use different platforms and different websites to help ease my mind and ease my stress.
And what about you, Margaret?
Well, you guys know me. I just love to work with others and serve them.
Serving others.
Is that when I serve others, my mind is off of myself.
That's right. And don't forget, self-care is key.
Self-care.
All right. So see you guys next week.
Right.
Bye.
Your mind matters.
welcome back, everyone, to Vision and Purpose Media Productions. And again, it's all about the magazine release. We are here, and it is time. It got here. What do we have? A what? New sheriff in town. And he go by the name of John D. B. Carr. I know I'm in trouble later, but I'm enjoying the moment now. You know what I'm saying? Might as well. I'm all in. All right, John. Welcome, Sheriff.
Welcome.
Yes, it's on. We can hear you. Yes. So thank you. First of all, it's an honor that you allowed us to entrust us with your story. And guys, look at this cover. Just look at this. This is so very, very nice. Yes. Yes. And V&P had the honor to come to the swearing in. So it was just amazing, you all, to be there and just to watch, the swearing in and his 4 appointees and just everybody, the family, the love that was in that courthouse. It was not big enough for real. Like tonight, if you all can see this studio audience, it's a packed house in here because everyone wanted to meet the new sheriff in town. Yes. So if I can start, Chef, tell me about it. You always just been known for this community guy out here doing a great thing in the community. You're up close and personal with your community. So the moment that it hit that you wanted to run for the sheriff position, tell us about that.
So it just wasn't a start as far as me wanting to run for sheriff. As you can see in the magazine. And first, let me say this: I just want to thank you.
Aww.
I want to thank Vision and Purpose. I want to thank the citizens. I want to thank the team. I want to thank everybody because I may be highlighted here, but it's not about just my work. In order for me to be where I am, I had to ride on the shoulders of others. I had to work with others in the community and do that. So there are just a few people. I definitely want to highlight Miss Tracy Brown. I definitely want to highlight Miss Tammy Braxton. I definitely want to highlight, we also have our Register of Wills here, Miss Sarita Lee. I have to thank her as she worked at the Sheriff's Office. I see Miss Maria here as well, big into community up north. But I know I'm giving different names, and when you ask me what made me want to run, it was the community. It was the service. I had did 20 years at the office of the sheriff. The current sheriff was retiring. I had spoken to him about his retirement and wanting to run and wanting to continue my service. But I knew what the agency and what we meant to the community and what I wanted to do. So one thing I do want to thank, and I know we made mention to it, but I want to thank those who have actually sacrificed in order for all of us to be there, and that is our families. So I have my wife here, I have my kids over here in the corner who look like hostages right now. I want to thank them only because they had to sacrifice my time, and I tried to incorporate them, but this is a team effort, and everybody that you see here has families. So as we get into service and what we want to do, this is all that we are about at the Office of the Sheriff. It was me identifying, me seeing a need in the community, and wanting to make sure that we're able to change the narrative of public safety. We just had a death out in LA where it was one of the teachers here from DC. We just had situations where we were coming from George Floyd and a few other issues throughout the country. Whenever you wear this uniform, no matter where it may be, you take on that responsibility because people only see you in that uniform. Not until you go into the community and you let them know that you are from that community, that you care about them, that you are a person of purpose, and that this is just your uniform and a representation of service. That's the only way that we will be able to change. So I just want to say thank everybody for coming, but that's the reason why I ran to be the next sheriff of Prince George's County, and now currently the sheriff of Prince George's County. I'm still getting used to that as we just got sworn in December, but for those who know me, I'm a very humble person as far as it's just not about me, it's about others. So that is my purpose in life, is to serve others, and that's what I want to continue to do.
And yes, and we all felt that for the whole year and a half you've been campaigning, we just felt like we know you personally, like you're a family member to us, and that's the part of the story that I love, that you want the sheriff department to be open door to the community, because a lot of time people don't know what the sheriff department does. They was like, okay, is it the police office? Is the sheriff office? So can you now finally give us the distinction of what the sheriff department does? What do your office do?
So let me just give the backstory. And most people don't understand. If you're from Prince George's County, and I was born in Washington, D.C., but raised here, majority in Prince George's County, and grew up in Suitland, Maryland. Never would have thought I would have been in a uniform, only because I was just like many of the other kids. We really didn't like police, and we didn't like law enforcement. That was just the culture that we grew up in. As you start to look at Prince George's County, you see my face, and I am a sheriff, I am in law enforcement, but within our 300 years of actually being service of this community, I am only the fourth African-American sheriff here in Prince George's County. There was a time, there was a time that representation such as myself here in the county didn't exist. There was a time that when the lights cut off, if you look like myself and look young, you shouldn't be here in Prince George's County. So as we start to evolve and as we start to change, you start to understand that this county is very diverse. So the sheriff's office is an elected official. It is somebody that the citizens actually elect in order to serve them. The police department actually was originated from the sheriff's office. Back in 1927, the police department came about, and in 1930, they took over the primary role as far as running calls for service here in the county. But the sheriff's office was the first law enforcement agency here in the county, as we serve court orders. And by serving those court orders, it deals with the civil piece, you know, landlord, tenant, civil, any civil service. We deal with domestic violence. We deal with child support. We deal with fugitive, in which we actually travel throughout the country and bring people back here so that they can go to court and answer for their actions or accused actions and what occurred. We also have that warrant piece, in which we want to take violent offenders off the street. So we do so much in our community. We have a community section in which we deal with the youth. We actually have a school section, which we have an MOU with the schools. We teach inside of a one-credit course inside of our middle schools. It's called Positive Day. These are the things that we want to grow and we want to foster, because we need to get these kids while they're young right now. As we're starting to see kids at the young age of 13 and even older. In Virginia, you had a 6-year-old actually shoot a teacher. Until we're able to actually deal with the children and work with them and help them, not only deal with just the kids, but you have to deal with the parents, because obviously they need some assistance as well. I want you to see this agency, I want you to see public safety and law enforcement in a different light. I want you to see us as just not being there during the bad times, but also the good times. And I basically ran on that aspect of knowing what the community needed. So the sheriff's office, we are a law enforcement arm of the courts. All of our work really comes from the courts, but we deal with those civil and criminal matters, but we're specialized. The county police will run calls for like unknown trouble and some of the other issues in which you dial 911. But if you're here in the central part of the county for our domestics, we actually respond, because we do the peace and protective orders. We do the day-to-day work of the courts, in which we try to make everybody whole again.
All right, I'll tell you. So let's continue on with that, and I'm glad you gave us clarity on you're the fourth African-American sheriff to be there, but also you have the authority to do appointees, and you did a wonderful job of making, as Mr. Nelson brought up to our attention earlier, diversity of your team going forward. And also you're making history because you appointed the first African-American woman.
Woman, period.
Yes, woman, and then African-American, yes. And as your chief deputy. So explain to us what that is, and then we're going to let you give the introductory. How about that? You see that?
So,
Yes.
The Sheriff's Authority, again, it comes from the state, as we can travel outside of Prince George's County and throughout the state and really throughout the country, because our power comes from, the state. In judicial proceedings, the court judicial proceedings and state proceedings, I'm allowed to actually appoint 4 assistant sheriffs currently right now. We're going to add and
Yes.
started to have a 5th because we know the need.
Yes.
But with that appointment, it is somebody who I am able to, a team who I am able to actually execute my vision and mission for the community. And in doing so, I actually took my time and wanted to make sure that the folks and people who I appointed and that I put in these roles of supervisory roles reflected the community and reflected the vision of wanting to make sure that they're there for service, wanting to make sure that they are there to listen to people, to hear people, to be present and make sure that we make everybody whole again. So in that selection and even in the campaign, it was always something to where we want to make sure that we make the biggest impact in the community. And make no mistake about it, in public safety and in law enforcement, women are a minority. It is a male-driven or male-dominated career field. It is important that we reflect the community and the needs of our community consistently. And I was lucky enough to have somebody in my agency, and we have a lot of wonderful women who actually serve day to day, but I was lucky enough to actually oversee and supervise someone that had many years of experience, not only just in the Prince George's County Sheriff's Office, but also started her career in the District of Columbia as an officer. Transferred over to the Prince George's County Police Department and did years and served over there. And then actually came to us and started another career with us. She didn't retire. This is her working her way through, and she started young. And I'll let her tell her story, but the chief of police in D.C., they started together. So it tells you the type of character and the type of people who we actually have that work with us is she's given her life for service. And for me to be able to identify, to be able to supervise, and to know the talent that we have in our agency and to know the talent in our community, I thought it was a very easy choice to make when we talk about appointing her as my chief assistant sheriff and my undersheriff. So let me knock on some wood. If something happened to me, this would be the next sheriff of Prince George's County. So I thought it was very important to make sure that we reflect that and we show that it's important that women do matter in this career field and that women have power in this career field. So I thought it was very important for me to appoint her. Not just because she's a woman, but like I said before, she has the skills to pay the bills and make sure that she's able to do the job. So that's the reason why, and it's my Chief Assistant Sheriff, Elizabeth Crum.
Yes. Bad boss chick. Okay. So, yes. Yes.
Thank you. I want to start off by first thanking Sheriff Carr for those wonderful words. He doesn't leave me with much to say other than all of that is true. As he indicated, I did start my career very, very early on in Washington, D.C., along with now their Chief of Police, Robert Conti. So when I came out here to Prince George's County to serve the citizens, I had a talk with my husband who's here, my children also here. I said, listen, it's going to be a slight pay cut. What are your thoughts? Because my heart is to service. And so as we got married and we decided on purchasing a home here in Prince George's County, I said, this is where I want to work. So let's make the transition. And I've never looked back. I want to say one important thing. It's not necessarily about me being the first black female, but it's the first female in 26 years.
Yes. Woo.
There is something to be said about that, just of the simple fact that they have not identified a woman to do this job is phenomenal to me. I'm more than blessed. I'm more than humbled by this experience, and I'm just ready to hit the ground running. I mean, we've been working nonstop since December the 6th, and I want to say it's been a pleasure. I know we enjoy working these long hours. We thank our families for the sacrifices that they've made to allow us to do these jobs, but we are here for you all. And I'm excited to see what this next 4 years is going to produce, because we have a lot of things.
Another 4 years. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did I say
We
that?
have a lot of things in development, a lot of things in development. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so you're helping us understand about how many assistant sheriffs that you can have, but they all have their own department as well.
They all have their own bureaus,
yeah.
yes.
So you want to bring up the next one and tell us?
So, as the number 2
I see
person,
a
you have
smile.
Elizabeth Crummon. She runs the day-to-day operations
Okay,
as far
number
as
2. Yep.
executes my vision and my purpose.
Okay.
So as the head, I have to make sure that things go. So I can't touch every and anything. That's one of the purposes of me being able to work through the agency and know every spot and every unit and every division. I have a number 2 person who focuses on that. But then when we start to get into the bureaus, so our Bureau of Administration, which basically consists of personnel, your HR, your budget and finance, the basically making sure that we have the tools in order to execute and do the job. I have Assistant Sheriff Will Milam. Now, Will Milam is somebody who we went through the academy together, and Will Milam actually came to us. He was here in Prince George's County, went in the academy here in Prince George's County, but actually came to us from Calvert County as a sheriff. So he has previous experience, but his roots are here in Prince George's County, and he actually was the FOP president and the vice president for the state FOP. So this is somebody who just wasn't here in Prince George's County, but also went throughout the state to understand exactly what it means to serve, what it means to make sure that law enforcement or public safety are actually doing what they say they do, and actually making sure that our alignment of the community and the different agencies throughout the state match. So it was an easy selection of putting him in that role because, again, he went throughout the state and worked with many different law enforcement agencies, and actually, like I said, was the vice president of our FOP here in the state. And Will Milam is our assistant sheriff for the Bureau of Administration.
I don't have much to say other than it'll be hard to follow the chief assistant sheriff here and the sheriff. As the sheriff said, I went to the academy with him, and I like to say that I saw 20 years ago what we've all come to know today, was that John is a natural leader. It was evident when we were in the academy together. He would always be leading our runs and our push-ups. It turns out John was a track star at the University of Maryland.
He cheated.
Yeah, so while we were running laps, he would be 2 or 3 laps ahead of us, and we didn't realize that until after the academy. But I couldn't be more honored than to work under his leadership. I have the best boss in the country right here. She is terrific, so everything that they've said about her is legitimate. And I just look forward to serving and working for you. That's what the Office of the Sheriff does. As the Sheriff indicated, we're a service-oriented organization, and I can't wait to spend the next 4 years serving each and every one of you. So thank you.
So next, we're going to keep this moving right along, right?
Not a problem. We can do that. So next, and if you don't know, so I would be number 1. The chief assistant is number 2. Assistant Sheriff Milam is number 3. Number 4 is someone who actually has taken my position as the assistant sheriff, as I was a lieutenant colonel before I ran for this position, in our Bureau of Field Operations. And the Bureau of Field Operations consists of warrants, child support, domestic violence, landlord, tenant, civil, anything that you see on the street. I used to always say during the campaign, that's what I would oversee, and this person is taking my role. I actually had the privilege to actually supervise him as well in that bureau, and he was my captain at the time of our warrant unit. And actually working with him in our tactical unit, we both came up through the SWAT team. I was on the SWAT team. I was the team leader. I was the commander. During that time frame, I had somebody who was under me. So I supervised him also in SWAT as well. He is somebody who, again, has a passion for the community, has a true passion in order for the profession. He always wants to make sure that he perfects his craft and make sure that we are doing, one, the best practices, but two, that we're doing the best that we can in order to apprehending violent offenders, to make sure that we are treating people and making them whole again when they're going through that hard time. So my number 4 position, Assistant Sheriff, is Assistant Sheriff Stephen Umpathamical. A native of Prince George's County as well.
Yes.
The sheriff is saying everything I was going to say. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to work for Sheriff Carr. Like you said, I am a native. I was born and raised here in Prince George's County. I grew up here. I spent my whole life here. Graduated high school here. Bowie High School. Grew up in Hyattsville originally, but I've always been big into the community. I started very young. When I was 20 years old, I went to the academy. I was the 3rd deputy sheriff to graduate the Prince George's County Police Academy with the Outstanding Student Officer Award. So I started my career early, right on track, trying to serve the community. As I worked everywhere in the agency, I had the opportunity to shadow him in a lot of places and develop, being a servant leadership, not only with my colleagues, but with the deputies I serve, with the community I serve. Always trying to make sure that we're doing the right thing, especially when no one's looking. That's what matters. And I appreciate the opportunity. Echo the Assistant Sheriff Milam. I got the best boss here in the country, and I want her to know that. We do a lot of good work for you. And we put the community first before us.
Okay, this the part I say, don't tell me nothing, because you know I can't hold water. So when we was doing the magazine review with the sheriff department, so they all was jumping on the Zoom, and you see how serious they all look in their uniform, just look real. And then all of a sudden, Stephen cracked a joke. I went, oh. So look, and I got a smile. I was like, wow. So you know what? I gotta give it up. They are just real personable people, because when Stephen cracked that joke on that line, I was like, okay, he don't know, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. So, okay, thank you for that. So now we're gonna have I guess just the community husband that was on campaign trail that Tracy liked to say.
Campaign husband.
Oh, okay, campaign husband. Okay, all right. Yes.
So as I said, being diverse and making sure that you affect the community, I was lucky enough to bring somebody on who had actually been on to the sheriff's office even longer than I have here, and actually retired and was still working here in the community. He works and is assistant sheriff for our Bureau of Court Services, so that's where our authority and our power comes. When he was working, even before as the assistant sheriff, he was a lieutenant in our Warren section, and he had been at the office of the sheriff. You had been, 20 plus? What was that, 23 years before he retired. And then he wanted to continue to serve. So he's been gone 9 years and still wanted to continue to serve. One of the reasons why I selected Assistant Sheriff Ron Oliver is because, one, his community connections. This man has worked in the community from top to bottom. Capitol Heights, District Heights, College Park, Hyattsville. His heart is so big. And when I tell you I can take him anywhere and he can fit in and make everybody love him, and he is a hard worker, actually works and actually has rank in the volunteer fire department. So he serves not only with us, but also with the fire department as well. This was an easy choice. This was an easy choice to have somebody with experience who knew me, and we understood exactly, hey, it's about service, and then also is able to talk with every and anybody. This man will give you the shirt off his back, and his work ethic, undeniable, undeniable. So for my assistant sheriff for the courts, for the Bureau of Court Services, I selected Assistant Sheriff Ron Oliver.
Sheriff, you're gonna make me cry. I'd like to first say thank you, Sheriff, for selecting me. It truly is an honor to work under you and with the rest of the team here. Is this thing on?
It's on.
Yeah, it should be.
Pass it
Yeah,
back.
pass it.
So the young lady here was talking about a story earlier, what your story was. My public safety days started at 9 years old when we were selling candy bars for the school. So we were going past the firehouse, right across the street from where I lived in Morningside, and my mom says, they were out there washing the trucks. My mom says, you want to stop and see if the firemen want to buy some candy bars? I said, sure. She pulls in the parking lot, I get out of the car, walking up to the guys with 9 years old. You guys want to buy some candy? So they look at me basically and said, here's $20, take your candy, go on about your business. So I got back in the car, she goes, well, how did you do? I said, well, I got $20 and I still got all my candy. So I guess I did all right. She said, well, you're going to be a good salesman or a good BSer the rest of your life. So went home. Wait, let me back up a little bit. When I walked up to them, just the smell of the diesel fuel from the fire trucks and the radios going off, I was kind of mesmerized. So now we went home. I started sneaking back through the woods every day and going back to the firehouse and standing on the side of the firehouse, listening to the radio, and they would catch me and run me out of there. I'd go back home. This little cat and mouse game went on for a while. Then they finally started letting me help them wash the fire trucks. So by the time I was 12 or 13 years old, I was actually riding on calls with the chief at the firehouse. I had gotten special permission from Morningside. The county allowed me to go on the insurance, and of course my mother and father had to give their blessing. So fast forward, when I got into junior high and we would leave school and walking home, the rest of the guys were stopping, doing whatever they were doing when they stopped. I went straight to the firehouse. So my public safety day started at 9 years old. One of the guys who was a member at the firehouse when we were 21 years old, he lived across the street from a captain at the time that was on the agency. He said they're doing a big hiring, kick right now. Any of the guys at the firehouse want a job, go take the test, you pass it, and this captain would help you get hired. Me and a buddy of mine, the one who told me about it, who lived across the street from this captain, he and I were the only two that went and took the test. So, I don't know, several weeks later when we got our test results, I passed, he failed. Well, that was the last time I ever heard about this captain that was going to help me get a job. So, I say I did it on my own. In 1 year, through all the interviews and the process before I got hired. So, that's my story. Like I said, it kept me out of trouble off the streets by going to the firehouse. And like the sheriff said, I just love doing what I do. When I retired, I was on the FOP board of directors, and that's a non-paying job. I like helping the members of the agency, the community, and that's what we're here to do now, to serve you, the citizens of Prince George's County. We appreciate your support. We're going to be here for you, and we got some new business cards, and I didn't bring mine with me. You know how to get hold of the man right there. Divvy out what needs to be done. So thank you for inviting us. We're glad to be here, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
This is great. So you're gonna we're gonna bring over so you're gonna explain to us about this 5th position now?
Yes.
So tell us how this worked.
So when I got appointed, or when I got elected, I had already thought about, by working up, I had already thought about different changes that we need to have in the community. So as the Chief Assistant Sheriff says, hey, we're working on a lot. Because again, we're from the community, we know exactly what we need. And what we needed, especially at this time, going about during the elections and hearing different people's stories, watching the news and seeing what's going on, I wanted to make sure that with law enforcement reform, that we weren't just a lip service, that we were actually able to make sure that we can say we want to hold ourselves accountable in this community. So with many discussions with many different people, I wind up wanting to bring in a Bureau of Professional and Accountability. That means in itself is that we have an actual bureau that just focuses on auditing, inspections, investigations, to make sure that we do what we say we do. It is very important to me that when you see a woman or a man in a sheriff's deputy uniform, that we serve you. And they get tired, and everybody in the agency have heard me say this. I don't want that Popeye service. I want Chick-fil-A service. I want when you get there, I want you to understand that, hey, what do you need? How do you need this? Oh, okay, well, let me try to. I want actual service. I don't want you to get there and be like, well, we ain't got nothing right now. We looking for, I need that. And it's amazing that it's on there too, but I need that Chick-fil-A service. I need you to make sure that when we talk about customer service, that's what it is. So I was lucky enough to, in my career, interacting, working with in different things, and seeing somebody that wasn't in our agency, because I wanted somebody with a fresh pair of eyes, not to say, hey, I know everybody in here, and oh, well, that's just fresh pair of eyes. Somebody that's never worked in the office of the sheriff. I wanted to bring that individual in. And I was lucky enough to actually bring somebody that worked and was an actual deputy chief at the Prince George's County Police Department, that has actually worked in internal affairs, that has actually worked on the road, that has actually applied and well, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm about to say something else, but I was lucky enough to get him only because he could and should be a chief at some other police department. But I am lucky enough to know him and to see his work, not only in the community, but what he does outside of that, as he is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. So he does a lot of work in the community, regardless of wearing this uniform. This is a person who has not only served in that law enforcement realm in the county police, but wants to continue to serve. So I have, who soon will be my appointed Assistant Sheriff, George Nichols, and he will be running our Bureau of Professional Accountability.
Thank you, Sheriff. And no, he didn't get me from the Chick-fil-A. So anyway, yeah, I mean, love the food, but no, it didn't work. They didn't get me. So as the sheriff said, that I retired from the Prince George's County Police Department after 23 years. I had worked my way up through the ranks, and I had achieved the rank of Deputy Chief of Police. I was actually the #2 next to Chief Aziz before I retired. While I retired, I was then consulting. I was working on 21st century policing, police reform. We all know what the dynamics and the contemporary issues are in policing today. During the course of his campaign, I actually advised the sheriff on best practices moving forward in 21st century policing. He had a vision in which we all know there are 6 pillars in the 21st century policing frame. The first one, of course, being building trust and legitimacy. That's the most important with the community. Now, of course, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a New York transplant, but I've been here for over 25 years. So I am now a Prince Georgian. Okay? All right, so, okay. So basically what I will be doing is, when it comes down to Bureau of Professional Accountability, our deputies will be accountable. They will be held to a higher standard, and the community will see that what they're supposed to do, they will emulate what it is that we all expect. We'll be holding forums with our communities to engage you as to what it is you think professional policing should look like, and I will be taking that back to the sheriff, and we will be making that our model going forward. Like I said, I was retired, but he knew I wasn't really ready to go, and he was able to pull me out of it and bring me back in. So again, I'm honored to be here. I'm glad for them embracing me and making me a brother and partner in this endeavor. And I look forward to continuing to serve you and the other members of our communities here in Prince George's County. So thank you.
Well, guys, we always excited to have our community to come in and just be here and be a part of what we have. Our cover stories, our feature stories, one thing, in order to be in this magazine, you have to be present at the release. And this is what it's about, because we want the community to get a chance to know the cover stories, the positive voice that we like to talk about and say in this magazine. So community is what? Everywhere. And we have a new what? Sheriff in town. And his name is John D.B. Carr. Yes, you heard it here. Yeah, you can clap. Yes. You heard it here first on Vision and Purpose Media Production and Vision and Purpose Community Magazine. Again, the way you can get the magazine is visit us on the website for those who's not here, www.vnpmediaproductions.com. You also can nominate your community hero, and you also can get your birthday shout out. So go on that website, because we are a community magazine and we are being a positive voice for you. So again, thank you for allowing us to entrust your stories with us and telling your stories and being that positive voice for the community. I am confident, I can 100% say that I know this sheriff department is going to be up close and personal with the community. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. We're going to take a commercial break and we're going to have a wrap up, and we have an appointed attorney, Michael Lyles, that just came in the building. He must be special, okay, because he just came in the building. All right, for the city of Annapolis, and we're going to just close out with him and close out with the V&P team. We'll be right back at you. Last commercial break. See you on the other side.
It is key that you mind your mental health.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this week? Hi.
Use the 5 keys to mental movement.
It's been a really monumental week for me. I realized that I was not being myself.
Reaching out.
Be positive attitude person self, like you guys know me to be.
Staying upbeat.
And get back to that happy, cheery self of me.
This week's been kind of
being
stressful,
creative.
all of the workload that we have on online learning. So I've been trying to use different platforms and different websites to help ease my mind and ease my stress.
And what about you, Margaret?
Well, you guys know me. I just love to work with others and serve them.
Serving others.
Is that when I serve others, my mind is off of myself.
That's right. And don't forget, self-care is key.
Self-care.
All right. So see you guys next week.
Right.
Bye.
Your mind matters.
Hello, my name is Tania McQueen. I'm the Residential Services Manager for Prestige Community Resources.
What our new facilities are respite centers. We're opening 2 in the city right now. Hopefully we'll expand to more. But respite centers are a place where people can come and get a little additional support with their mental health. Our one on Eastern Avenue is for men, and our one on Minnesota Avenue is for women. Our facilities are for all DC residents, especially focusing in on those in Wards 7 and 8. So they're really nice, and I'm excited for consumers to actually see them. What are the services that we're going to provide? Therapy, case management, medication management, all provided by professional staff, a licensed nurse practitioner, psychiatrists, sociologists, social workers, and then our paraprofessionals, our case managers. It's just a place where you can come and get the supports that you need to work on your personal goals, as well as to get your mental health straight. Simple, single adult, 18 years of age or older, a DC resident. You need to have insurance, but if you don't have it, it's okay. Still come, we'll work on getting you insurance. Have to have a negative COVID test, a negative TB test, and be willing to work on your mental health. For more information about respite services, you can contact us at 202-796-5000 or hit us up on our website at www.prestigecommunityresources.org.
Service Media Production, and we are here with our last guest featured story. And I tell you guys, see, sometimes, you know, the best can be the best. All right, and we're going to give that one to Michael tonight. So Michael Lau is an appointed attorney for the city of Annapolis.
Correct.
Tell us what that is.
Basically,
it's on.
okay, basically what I do is represent the city
Mhm.
in lawsuits.
Okay.
I prepare legislation and I provide legal advice and counsel to the city leadership
Okay.
and the city council.
Okay, all right. So, Michael, you have a wonderful story here, and you're not gonna make me cry. I want you to know that. So let's talk about that story that you grew up in in the city of D.C., Washington D.C., in Southeast Washington D.C.
Yes.
And definitely very humble beginnings, but you went on to go to college. And afterwards, your story is that you were sitting around with some of your frat brothers, and y'all decided how much can you give back to the community? What else can you do? And I'm gonna let you take it from there.
Well, thank you, Karen, for allowing me to be here with you in the
Yes.
community. I really appreciate everything that Vision and Purpose has been doing in my life, and you helped with my campaign, and I was able to pay you a little money to do what you do
Yes.
As a media brand expert, and I really appreciate that. But
Yes.
my particular story is one where from humble beginnings or poor beginnings, my parents didn't graduate high school,
Yes.
but they found their way to the District of Columbia and raised me in struggling surroundings. And if it weren't for them and the nuns at the Catholic school and some folks in my life that really cared about me, I probably wouldn't have made it, But I was able to take that desire to do well.
You see that little boy right there?
I took that desire to do well, and talking with my friends about what we wanted to do with the rest of our lives, law school seemed to be an obvious choice to help people who needed help. To not just say we were lawyers and sit around and move paper, but to actually file lawsuits and win, or to defend people who needed defending in court.
Yes.
And so we became lawyers, and after almost 28 years, I'm happy to say that we've all had a really blessed experience being able to reach out to folks when they needed help and help them, whether they have money or not, or whether they had a little bit of money.
Yes.
Sometimes we like when they have a lot of money.
Yes.
But we've been able to really do some good things over the time that I've been a lawyer.
Yes, yes. And I definitely want to end on the last note of, not going to cry. One of the questions that I asked Michael was to tell us his most memorable moment. And he shared with us about this story, and I'm telling you, writing this story, I literally cried, and I told Mike, I had to call him and say, Michael, you don't make me cry on this one, because he was saying, and I could see Michael, if you know him, I could see him. He went back to his very first case. A young man had been in prison for 6 months, and case was just laying dormant. And this was his very first case, and he was walking the streets. He got arrested for possession and distributing, and everyone was saying it was not true. And Michael, tell the story from there before I continue to cry.
So a young man who was really given to me by the court, because I was a new lawyer, didn't know a lot, but I needed to make a little money, and the court was paying $50 an hour to represent people who needed representation. They introduced me to a young man. Really, he was in jail. He was in the correctional facility in lockup, and that was my first case. And I asked him what happened, and basically he was the victim of a jump out by the police, walking home through a drug-infested neighborhood. They took him for one of the drug dealers. Come to find out, not only did they arrest him, but they arrested him as he was going into his apartment, and his door was open. So his door stayed open. He had a girlfriend and a job. He lost all of that. And so, and something about the case, I said, well, and I saw that they had a confidential informant that didn't have a name. I said, okay, well, we're going to test the situation. So I went back to the neighborhood. I found the drug dealers, and I asked them about the guy. His name was Andrew, and they said, no, Andrew's my man. He's not a drug dealer. We were the ones dealing the drugs, so they actually picked up the wrong guy. based on a confidential informant who had nothing to do with the matter. So I actually went to the neighborhood, interviewed a lot of folks, and these drug dealers to see how this guy must have had an impression on them, because they were willing to come to court to defend this guy's innocence, and something you don't see. And so I said, well, this guy got to be innocent, so I'm going to fight. And so I just tested the situation and asked the prosecutors to take it to trial. You know, and I didn't want to plea bargain. I didn't want to negotiate. My guy's innocent. And if you got a case, and if you got evidence, and you got witnesses, bring him to court, and let's test this in front of a jury. Well, after all of that, plus some of the information I brought to them about who the drug dealers were, because the identification was a heavy-set guy, 6'2", with dreads. My guy was 5'9", short hair, you know, didn't look anything like the description, but he sat in jail in corrections for 6 months, waiting on a trial date. So I was like, this is crazy. Fortunately, the county didn't want to prosecute that case. And
Because Bagalao was
so,
on the job.
And the case was dismissed. And he was able to go home that day. And so when I saw him a few months later, he had you know, gotten with some other guys to start a company, a moving company, and so he was getting his life back together.